Anniversary of the American Film Institute this year, and with that we're putting a renewed focus on education, and we're doing that across all of our programs. And here at AFI Fest we've launched a retrospective program featuring Robert Altman this year, and in our Cinema's Legacy section we're featuring a variety of classic films that are celebrating 50th anniversaries and really looking at cultural markers in American cinema and international cinema history. One of the films in that section is a Western. It's an important genre. It's an important genre because it tells so many tales of the founding of this country. And what you'll see in tonight's film is that director Scott Cooper, who we are so happy has returned to AFI Fest. He was here in 2013 with Out of the Furnace, and he returned in 2015 for Conversation. What he does with this Western is he infuses it with a contemporary sensibility. He really infuses it with social criticism, with political criticism, and he challenges some of the notions and ideas that you see sometimes in not only traditional Westerns, but in many films. Really takes a hard look at the roots of the racial and cultural divide in America. It's an essential kind of film we welcome, and we really do need artists who challenge our notions and who take chances and risks with their filmmaking. So we're really happy and honored to be presenting this film this evening. And we also then appreciate greatly the distributors, much needed, who will champion those filmmakers. So please help me welcome the founder, chairman, and CEO of Entertainment Studios, Byron Allen.
Thank you, Jacqueline. Please give another round of applause. Welcome to the Los Angeles premiere of Hostiles. Let's hear it. Oh no, you have more than that. Let's hear it. There you go, there you go. Well, this means a lot to us. Our company, Entertainment Studios, this is a very important milestone in our company. This film, this is something that showed up on my radar. My wife and I, Jennifer, took the kids to the mountains last summer. And hiking up there, I couldn't help but notice this beautiful country, and it got me thinking about how this was stolen from the Native Americans. And I couldn't let go of the thought, and I kept thinking about my upbringing and what I was taught about Native Americans. And I remember going back and calling Chris Sherlombus, and I said to him that, you know, I'm really interested in the Native American experience. I don't think we've done enough to really explore how we've treated Native Americans in this country. And we were taught that they were the bad guys, and maybe this is something we have to really take a good look at, and maybe this is our opportunity to really show a different point of view. So when this movie showed up the following year at Toronto, I said, I want not one executive to go and look at this film, I want 3. And I definitely want someone on our team that it's a woman to go as well, because hey guys, no offense, I expect you to enjoy a good old Western. And sure enough, the guys were like 2 thumbs up. And I said, yeah, but what did Rachel think? And Rachel said, I love the movie. I didn't like it, I love it. And that's when I said, okay, I gotta see it. And when I saw it, I said, we have to have it. And I said, I don't care who shows up on the field, I don't care which studio shows up, we're taking it. And I'm happy to say that we do have the distribution to this movie. We're proud to be a part of it, and I want to thank AFI for inviting us to be here, a part of your festivities. Now, why is this movie important? Because it starts that process of speaking to Native American genocide. And we, as a country, really haven't dealt with it, in my humble opinion, properly. And what we tend to do as a country is we, especially with people of color and women, we tend to put the 4 Ds on them. Dismiss, discredit, and when you get a little frustrated from being dismissed and discredited, you get a little angry, you speak up. And then they move that 3rd D on you, demonize you. And then they can move on to that 4th D, destroy you. And you see that process. And this is a movie that I believe is really powerful because it speaks to humanity, redemption, love, forgiveness, healing, and we as a country, I think this is the perfect movie for us at this time, this moment in history. And I want to thank Scott Cooper for making such a fine American masterpiece. So it really means a lot to me that you would trust us with this and for bringing it to us at this moment, because we need a film like this and more films like this more than ever. So thank you, Scott. I really appreciate that. You know, I always say it's not show business, it's business show, but sometimes you don't want it to just be business. You do want to say something, and you do want to move the needle in a positive direction, and I think with a film like this, we have that opportunity. And I've made that very clear to our team. We're not just about making money, we want to make a change for the better and in a positive way. Yes. We're in America. Making money is easy. We also have to make a good change. The performances are outstanding. You know, look, Christian Bale, it's not even in his DNA to give a bad performance. Rosamund Pike, outstanding. Corianka, Kilcher, the performances are just magnificent. Wes Studi really is something amazing. Yes, Wes Studi. Wes is Native American, but Wes is Cherokee. He had to learn Cheyenne to do this movie. Yeah. Yes, go ahead and give that an applause. Yeah. Along with Christian Bale, he had to learn Cheyenne, so he's acting in a couple of different languages. And Ben Foster and Rory, everybody they didn't go up to the wall, they went through the wall, and you'll see it. But it all started with our fearless leader and an amazing filmmaker. He did an amazing job as a director, and he's made an epic Western and a true American masterpiece. Please welcome Scott Cooper. Straight out of GQ. There he is.
I generally like to under-promise and over-deliver. I'm not sure I'll be able to do that after that introduction. Thank you, Byron. I have to say how excited I am on a personal level to be back as a gala screening here for the American Film Institute. I was here 4 years ago with my second film, Out of the Furnace, and it was an experience that I didn't soon forget. When I first moved to Los Angeles, I lived a couple of blocks away, and actually the very first film that I saw was in this theater, and it was Pulp Fiction. So to be back at the Chinese with my own film is extremely gratifying. The American Film Institute. I didn't go to film school, but I would like to have gone to AFI. But I wouldn't be here if not for two people. The first person that I'd like to call out is a very good friend of mine. He's a bold filmmaker. He's one of our, I think, one of our great producers, and he's fearless, certainly, to take on a picture like this. And his name is Ken Cowell. Ken, please join us. Here's Ken. And the second person that, obviously, I wouldn't be here if not, is Byron Allen. And Byron's right. I think a film like this is look, it seems to me that unless you're making a film about someone in a cape or a horror picture, it's tough to get people off the sofa. My hope is every time that I go out that I will be that person to get them off the sofa to come see what I hope is compelling cinema. But Byron is the perfect distributor for this film. He's a cinephile. He understands this film. He understands me. He understands what I wanted to convey. And I wouldn't be here if not for Byron and Ken. So thank you both, gentlemen. Before I came over, two of my cast members who could not be with us, one of them who was, she's shooting in Jordan. Not easy to get here from Jordan, is Rosamund Pike. I'm a longtime admirer of Rosamund's, but I think her work in this is in my estimation, some of the best work she's done. There are scenes in the film in which one doesn't go to RADA or or the actor's studio to learn. It comes from a very deep and primal place, and I think she's quite remarkable in the film, and I wish she were here. And secondly, Christian Bale, who is my closest pal and my closest collaborator. And for my $2, the best actor working. My wife often asks if I'm going to work with anyone but Christian. Not if I can help it. Christian at the moment is living in Dick Cheney's skin, and he's shooting, so I would rather he not be here. Because who knows what Christian might do. But he sent along his regards and truly wishes they were here. But we do have some wonderful cast members. And firstly, I want to bring out a man that I think is one of our finest actors and, in my estimation, a national treasure. Please welcome Wes Studi. Secondly, I want to bring out an actor who was in my last film, Black Mass, and I think he's also one of our very finest actors. His name is Rory Cochrane. I also want to bring out, it's interesting because there are so many actors in the film. I generally write with actors in mind. I wrote Crazy Heart with Jeff Bridges in mind. I wrote Furnace with Christian in mind when I was writing this, and Rory and Wes. And also my next actor, you probably first saw her in Terrence Malick's The New World, and she's luminous and a wonderful actress, Koryanka Kilcher. And the next actor was also in Black Mass, and he is a wonderful guy, a terrific actor. You would know him as Scott Anderson. Scott? Some of these guys are unrecognizable. Scott and Rory are very good viewers. The next actor who's coming out is in a couple of other movies this year. He's really extraordinary in Call Me By Your Name. He's also wonderful in the lovely picture Lady Bird, and I think at 20, 21 years old, he's one of the best actors of his generation. But beyond that, he's an incredibly generous and sweet and kind young man, and he has an incredibly bright future. His name is Timothée Chalamet. The next actor is I've been a long-time admirer of his, and we've been looking for something. And as I was writing this, there are the qualities in this film that, in this performance, and in his past performances that I thought would be electrifying on screen, but also mysterious and dangerous. And he, too, in my estimation, is one of our very finest, and that is Ben Foster. And before I introduce my last two actors, I want to introduce my editor. He worked on Crazy Heart with me. I think he's one of the finest filmmakers we have. You've seen his work in Whiplash, for which he won an Oscar. And then you saw his work last year in La La Land. And as you will see in 2 hours' time, this is a very different picture than La La Land. Please welcome Tom Cross. The last two cast members I want to introduce are probably, well, not probably, geez. They mean more to me than almost anything in my life. In fact, they mean more to me than anything in my life. They are making their screen debut, which was a very frightening time for me. But it was summer camp at the Coopers. Christian's like an uncle. My DP has seen them grow up from a very young age. My crew knows them. So for them, they were just having a blast, but it was quite difficult for me. So if you would please welcome my two daughters, Ava and Stella Cooper. So finally, when I set out to make the film, it was very clear to me that we were living amidst a very vast racial and cultural divide that was growing wider by the day. If anything, I hope this film can simply spark a conversation about our very desperate need in America for reconciliation and healing and listening to one another and understanding others' ways of lives. Because I'm so afraid that if we don't, we're going to continue down this dark and ominous path, and God knows where that's going to lead us. So if anything, I think you can take that away, hopefully, from a thematic point of view. And lastly, my great friend and mentor Robert Duvall once said, he said, "The English have Shakespeare, the French have Moliere, and we as Americans have the Western. I hope in 2 hours and 7 minutes' time, you'll welcome this into the Western canon. Please enjoy Hostiles."